Hello everyone, good morning. My name is Nashon Hayuko and I want to analyze the political situation in our country, that's the big nation, Kenya. So today's topic, we are going to analyze about the sanitized handshake or a loyal opposition, which is, I think it is in pipeline. So we want to see what is taking place right now after President Ruto's visit to the Luo Nyanza. We want to take a look into the opposition. We want to take a look into the leaders, the opposition parties, like Raila, we have Kalonzo, we have Wajakoya, and etc. So, after Ruto's visit into Luo Nyanza, we want to see what is the next step that the big guys are going to take. For example, Raila, because this guy, he's a very strategic and a very cool guy when it comes to politics. He knows how to play the ball. So as you can see, what happened after Ruto visited Nyanza, you can tell that the way of doing things, in fact, the political terrain in our country, Kenya, has already changed. There's a big U-turn. And if you look at things, you find that this is not the way everyone was expecting things to be. So right now, I think the enigma, that is Raila Odinga, has got some cards that he's going to play. One is that he will make sure that all the promises that Ruto promised to the Luo Nyanza, or rather Nyanza in general, he will be taking a very keen look at what kind of developments are being finished or which ones have not been finished, so that when it comes to 2027, he will be ready how to attack. So in another way, you find that also Raila is very playing a very nice game because he wants to see that there is peace in the country. Because when they were with the President Uhuru, former president, they were talking about peace and unity. So Raila, whatever he says, sometimes he takes a look back before he takes the next steps. And if you also look at Kalonzo, he's a very cool guy. And right now, if you look at the steps he has taken, he has remained silent because he doesn't want to talk without without making a firm decision and deciding this is where to go. The last time Kalonzo said that, okay, maybe Ruto is going to buy the opposition leaders like the former governor of Kakamega. So you see, he is very keen on what he is saying, and I think even his advisors have reminded and have advised him to take a very low situation, yani, so that he can understand the the trend of the things, of the political undertakings right now. So if you look at things now, you can see that right now, for example, we have the IBC issue. It's very tricky. It's going to be very tricky because all these guys will have to say, okay, we are the stakeholders, and now the former the other smart guys, they are leaving now. So they have to sit down and to consider as opposition who are the guys to be appointed in those, or which guys can we push forward to those positions, because they are preparing for the 2027. And also, if you look at the government, the Ruto's government is very strategic because Ruto is eyeing the 2027 election and he's eyeing it to win it. And now he's trying to consolidate where he didn't get more votes. So he wants to penetrate those areas. As you can see, when he was in Nyanza, he said that, okay, you see, in Mount Kenya, the Mount Kenya people gave Baba 25%. And in Nyanza, he only got 1%. So Ruto is very smart in the mind, and he knows that he has to increase those votes so that he can get at least another 10 or 5% coming 2027, so that when the election comes, he will be very, very comfortable and knowing that, okay, here I've penetrated in the coast, penetrated in the eastern. So let's look what Ruto is going to do when he goes to eastern. because anything can happen. And even Raila, I think right now, if you can think out of the box, you can see that maybe Raila can be given a very powerful post in Ruto's government. And if you're not very keen, you have to see these things, because it can be a handshake, but it's another way. I can say it's a loyal opposition. So because they are going to work together, but it is going to be a handshake behind the skins, behind the scenes, behind the curtains. So because the other time, and even if Raila is going to be involved in this another behind the scenes behind the scenes curtain, he's going to play smart, because he has done it twice, and you can see the results. So he can do it, and it might be dumped. So he's going to play his cards on his chest, because he's going to be working with the government, but he's going to make sure that when it comes to 2027, whether he's going to stand or whether he's going to propose somebody, then he is also aiming to make sure that they have the win-win situation. So the situation now in this country, the politics now, if you look at the politics now, it's now becoming so interesting, very interesting, because you have to think, you have to go back to the drawing board. In fact, every politician right now has to go back to the drawing board, because the way they are taking things is not the way things are coming out now. You see, even Ruto, he has to work very hard right now, because there are so many people who are looking for that post. Kalonzo is looking for the presidency when it comes to 2027. Maybe Raila is going to look for it, or maybe Raila is going to propose maybe Kalonzo. And there are other small young leaders, Wajakoya wako pale. So it will depend with what the Kenya Kwanza government will do to fulfill all these promises all over the country. Whenever they are not going to make these promises successful, then I tell you, that is where it will start from. Because they say, you are in the government, what have you done? So that's why you see that Ruto went to Nyanza, so that he wants to make sure that those developments which has been pointed there, he will make sure when it comes to 2027, they are vanished, they are finished, they are showing off. You see, and even the other parts of the country, in the other countries. So that's why Ruto is talking. Even if you listen